hide that.
Live.
Hey guys.
How's it going? How's it going?
How's it going?
How is it going? It's going very well.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, but it's been a long weekend in
Yeah.
the UK, so we're looking a bit... We've been out in the sun.
And we're straight into the deep end with day one coming back into Google I/O.
Which is a big one.
Yeah, big one. So there's lots to talk about today.
Plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
From wearables through to new OS updates.
New OS updates for lots of things.
Lots of things. Lots of potentially some hardware
Mm-hmm.
as well. Or
Yep.
we hope there's some hardware.
We should actually say our names, really, shouldn't we?
I mean, did they care?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone cares that this is Gerald Lynch and that this is James Peckham.
Sometimes we can be either.
Yeah, we can switch around.
But today we're Gerald and James. So yeah. So maybe we should talk about what Google I/O is, James.
Yeah, so it's their big developer conference, Google's big developer conference. So this time every year they come around and we hear about the latest, mostly OS updates that are coming in. But they also it's kind of like their trend-setting event in a way.
Yeah.
It's kind of they're kind of putting a stake in the ground and saying this is what we will be focusing on for the rest of Android and even for example, the Pixel devices coming up or the new Chromecast devices coming up and that kind of thing. It's quite rare we see devices launched there. It's usually the smaller devices when we do see something.
But what's interesting, it's Google setting the tone for the year, right? Mm-hmm. So any developer,
Exactly
any like engineers or developers who work alongside Google, this is where you start getting the feeling for what's going to come next.
Yeah, this is their Christmas.
So say hello to a couple of people tuning in. So hi to Sam Barroso and hi to Nidal Hannah, who says, "Oh, the audio is louder than usual, which is better. It may be because we've drank quite a lot of soft drinks this afternoon.
Oh, we're just shouting.
A little bit louder and more excited."
So
yeah, it could be that as well. Hi to Raphael as well. Nice to see you.
Hey guys.
And greetings from Albania, from Emin Kokalari.
Good pronunciation. I reckon that was right.
Did I get it? I hope I got that right.
Yeah, and drop anything in the comments if you want to ask any questions about what Google I/O is, what we expect to see, what we're excited for, anything like that. We will try and answer as best we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be watching the live stream in 2 hours' time.
Yeah,
basically 2 hours' time. And
hanging out in a London satellite office.
Yeah. Eating a little bit of grub, followed by a lot of typey type.
And maybe a drinky drink afterwards. If we finish up in time.
But yeah, I'm excited about this one. I feel like Google I/O is never really no one really cares about Google I/O that much. It's always developers do, but like in the mainstream, it's not a big Apple launch. It's not even a Pixel launch. It's that smaller kind of satellite event.
I would beg to differ because Digvijay Singh has asked, "Hi, can you tell me where I can watch today's events?"
Yes, I can. Go to techradio.com, or if Tom can do this for us, put the link into the how to watch the live stream into the live chat. Tom is our camera guy behind the camera at the moment, and he's going to put the link in so you can find the live stream that way. Boom. Look at that. Synergy.
But before then, we can give you a little preview now with our mouths and the power of speech.
Paint a picture of Google I/O.
So should we hit from the top then? What's everyone going to be most excited about? Android P.
Yeah, it's always Android, isn't it? It's always Android that everyone's excited about with Google I/O. We may see some actual devices launched later, but they're going to be the smaller things, as I say. Android P, again, is going to set the trend for the year. It's going to set what Android wants to do for the year. We won't know a release date for it today. This is all pure speculation from what we've seen in the past and how I feel about it. But I don't think we'll see a release date today. We're here probably about a September kind of release date, October.
There's normally like a beta around autumn, isn't there? Or the fall, if you're from our
it's always
neighbours across the pond.
Yeah, they will. We'll probably get that, and we may get outright confirmation that it will be coming on Google's next phone, which we would expect to be the Pixel 3, which we would expect to launch towards the end of the year and be the device that really shows off Android P in its true form. But we won't. I personally don't think we will see anything of the Google Pixel 3 tonight.
So what should we expect then from Android P? What kind of headline features would you expect to see or would like to see?
I think it's going to be a lot of interface-based stuff for the notch.
Okay,
because the notch has been such a big part of this year already.
What's the big deal? I don't get the notch.
Yeah, exactly. That's how a lot of people feel right now, I think.
It's like a little weird hat for your phone.
Yeah, kind of. An inverse hat.
And then, like a mullet for your phone screen.
Yes, we're talking about the mullet for your phone. But yeah, I think a lot of the interface stuff will be about that and trying to catch up with I personally think the iPhone 10 is quite good at interacting with that. I think it would be a lot of that based stuff.
How do you think Google feel about that? If they're having to kind of integrate that sort of stuff, it's kind of like chasing, right?
Yeah, totally. And I don't think they expected the notch to be such a big deal. I think there will be some kind of surprise around the notch as well. I think there will be some kind of like extra feature that we're going to see integrated into all of Android, which developers can pick and choose. So
like maybe like a little man who lives in the notch.
Maybe
comes out and gives a little wave every night. Maybe that's where Google Assistant lives. And it's like, hi, what do you want to know today? And then they go back into
Do you mean
the notch.
in the actual notch, where he comes out of the notch and like he lives inside the notch?
Well, can you imagine like a new phone where there's an actual little person who lives in the notch, then he comes out, he answers your question, then he goes back in.
Come for the knowledge.
Get
A great story about a man who lives inside the mullet for your phone.
But yeah, so we're expecting a lot on Android P today. I would be really intrigued to see if they do any more kind of security features and privacy features.
Yes.
Now, especially around kind of the fallout from like the Facebook scandal recently. I feel like that's probably going to be, it will be on the agenda in a kind of, if not obviously not directly referencing Facebook, I don't think that's sort of thing that Google would do. But with that kind of the storm around people's data at the moment,
Totally.
I can imagine that having a bit of a replacement today.
And with us in Europe, GDPR as well. At the same time, I think there will be a big focus. Whether that will be one of the highlights that they highlight later tonight, I'm not sure, but I think that will be a big part of Android P in general. But it's not that kind of sexy feature that they want to pull out and put on screen at tonight. What is though is what you just put up on your screen, Google Lens. I
thought it was the picture that accompanied the Google Lens.
Oh, also, yeah.
We won't talk about that.
But
Google Lens for Android fans. So would that be this year's sexy new feature? Well, not new feature.
Yeah, it's not a new feature, but we're expecting that to come to more phones, and hopefully that it will come to every phone with Android P. That would be great.
Tell me, what is Google Lens?
What is Google Lens? Google Lens is the AI... I'm struggling to think of the word. The AI identification. Image recognition. That's the one. I was
pretending I didn't know, James, to give you a link, but you know.
Yeah, it's the image recognition app, which is available on quite a few Android phones now, especially through a separate app. But yeah, that kind of integration within Android P, I think that's going to be another big thing. And having that already waiting there as soon as you boot up your phone, and it's there, instead of having to get that extra app and having it open that app and do that kind of thing, instead of be waiting inside your camera app, for example, as it does on the Pixel.
Because we're seeing that in lots of Android developers are pushing that kind of AI photography stuff quite hard this year, right?
Yeah, totally. And whether they choose to use this feature will be a interesting topic. For example, a company like Huawei, who are putting a lot into their image recognition stuff, are they going to let Google Lens in as well? I'm not sure on the exact rules of that at the moment. It might be a kind of feature that Google insists that has to be included on the phone. So that would be interesting to find out as well. That might be information we already know, but I'm not sure.
So a few people are asking what time Google I/O starts. Now I know the UK time.
Yes.
So they might have to do a little bit of conversion unless someone can throw us a lead, Tom. But in the UK, it kicks off at 6 p.m?
Yes, it kicks off at 6 p.m. In the article about the live stream, which Tom has put in there, it will say...
You'll get all the details there.
I think it'd be 9 a.m.
Richard Ratner says, no Basil, I'm out of here.
Oh, man. Stay for us, Rich.
Come on, Rich. Come on. What do we need to do?
Look like Basil.
Look like Basil. Maybe next week.
Act like Basil.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not around this week. I'm sure he'll come back next week.
So, as well as software... Can we expect any hardware? I'm thinking maybe around Wear OS and wearables. Is that possible?
Yeah, I think so. Wear OS was the announcement probably a month and a half ago now, maybe even a little bit longer, maybe 2 months ago, where Google just issued a press release basically and said, Android Wear is dead. We're now using Wear OS. The whole aim of that is so it gets rid of that Android name and it's less confusing to average consumers, especially iPhone users, where basically you get the same experience now on mostly the same experience now on an iPhone as you would on an Android phone when using a Wear OS product. So they've rebranded everything, and all of the Android Wear watches are now turning into Wear OS watches. Well, the most recent ones anyway, not your older Moto 360s. They won't make that switch. But then that was it. That's all we heard. It was going to be that brand name change, and then watches updated and the apps updated on the phones and everything. So when you boot up your watch now, it does say Wear OS, but there were no new features. Today, I think will be the big day where we start to hear what those new features are and what's basically going to be Android Wear 3. But it's going to be retailed as Wear OS. Yeah, Wear OS 1, but even probably Wear OS 1.1 because we've kind of had one in that rebrand element. And again, setting that trend for the year. What may happen as well is we've seen rumours of a new LG watch called the
LG timepiece.
the LG watch timepiece. And I think that will probably be the flagship product, like how Android Wear 2.0 had the watch style and the watch sport from LG. I think this will probably be the flagship product from LG.
We heard a few more details on the LG timepiece. There was an FCC filing which suggested it was going to kind of maybe ape some of the features from Samsung Galaxy Gear, perhaps.
Yeah, so that would be
not Gear, Galaxy Gear. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, not Galaxy.
Yeah, Galaxy.
That's the problem there. Yeah,
they always
Samsung
throw
Gear.
it in, though, don't they?
Yeah, the Samsung Gear range have a like a circular carousel of apps rather than having that vertical list that you see in Android Wear. That's a feature of Tizen OS. Basically, this filing seems to suggest that LG will include that kind of circular design, which actually makes a lot more sense, I think, than a list on a circular display. Having that kind of, you can spin it around. But also what works there is the Samsung devices have a bezel where you can spin it. So maybe the timepiece will have a bezel as well.
Yep.
But the big thing about the timepiece that we've seen so far is that it's going to be a smartwatch with real hands over the top.
Right, so it's kind of a hybrid number then.
Yeah, it's a hybrid at the same time as still being a smartwatch. So it's not hybrid in terms of these watches that I'm wearing right now, where they are just purely a hybrid watch. This will be a smartwatch with the hands included as well. And yeah, basically, once your smartwatch dies and you've had your 2 days of battery life or whatever, even a day, that watch should still last for about a month as just telling the time. That's a great feature. If you go on holiday, you forget your charger, you're still not without the time there. You are losing the smartwatch features, but you can have a little few of those features there. It's a really interesting idea. It's not the first time we've seen it, though. Mychronos, a company called Mychronos, have a watch called the Z-Time, which has that feature before, but it's the first time we've seen it on a big name watch like LG's.
So do you think this could be the year when Wear OS? I'm so tempted to keep saying Android Wear.
Yeah.
So tempted.
Oh, believe me.
Wear OS finally breaks through and people start jumping in, because I mean lots of people, you see lots of people with them, but it hasn't really had the same kind of like penetration as you see. I see quite a lot of Apple Watches around,
totally
not so many
I think part of that is because there are so many Wear OS watches that you don't fully know them all. I think that's also part of it, but because like I don't even recognise all of them if I'm sat on the tube kind of thing. I would recognise the Apple Watch like that because it now has that red button and it's just kind of like instant spot, and it's got that recognition there, while the Wear OS platform's over 100 watches now. I think this will do a really good thing for Google, though. Just rebrand and get rid of that Android name. I think there's a lot in the name of it being Wear OS instead of Android Wear, because instantly if you own an iPhone you turn off as soon as you hear the word Android. You go, that's not for me, I'm out.
What do you think Android P is going to be called? That's what some of the commenters are asking.
I knew you guys were going to want to discuss that. I always want to talk about it.
You must have your favourite.
Pistachio, done.
Pistachio? Yeah. You're wrong, mate.
Yeah? I want to learn...
It's not going to be Android Pistachio. It's not.
I want to learn how to spell pistachio the first time out of the gate, because every single time I try and spell pistachio, I never get it right. I can't just say it right.
I think it's going to be Android packet of chips.
Okay. That's never going to happen.
Why not?
Peanut brittle was one that I've heard.
Yeah, you can have peanut butter.
Polo. Not the sport, the mint.
Prawns.
Yeah.
Android prawn.
Android
prawn cocktail.
Android prawn cocktail.
That
could be it.
Android prawn cocktail or Android packet of chips. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be packet.
So Ryan Barkley is suggesting Android peanut, which I think is probably not a bad shout. But then some people are allergic to peanuts.
Yeah,
and you don't want to turn people off, do you?
But some people are probably allergic to Oreos and...
Osama Umsa says, I don't understand what you're saying.
I don't know who you're talking to, but yeah.
But
a lot of people say
Hassan
that
says pie, but we've already had key lime pie. So would they go back to another pie?
Don't go back to that well.
Pancake's not a bad shout by Manish Gamez. Ryan Barkley and Android pastry. I like that.
Yeah, Android.
Yeah. And then some
pasty.
people
Just go pasty.
It's peppermint. End of discussion.
Okay.
Says Amar Goyal. I think you're wrong. I think it's going to be Android packet of chips. But I'm not going to put money on it. So we'll see how it goes. Right. Okay. So how about VR?
Yeah. More daydream stuff. What exactly that's going to be though? I genuinely don't know.
Well, it's been an interesting like month or so for VR though, right? So Daydream now really has to step up its game after the release of the Oculus Go, which is a really lovely standalone headset.
And you've used?
Yeah. So I've been using it for the last few weeks, and Whereas Daydream relies on popping a phone in. This is like a one contained unit. The tracking's really good. The kind of Wii-like remote point is really fun. It doesn't have the kind of depth tracking that other headsets do, but you get full 360, and it's wire-free. It gets you about 3 hours play for a charge, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're in VR, that's about as much as you're going to be able to stomach.
Most of the things you've mentioned there, I don't understand why that wouldn't work with the phone, though.
No, totally true. They totally could.
Maybe Daydream could do that upgrade.
Yeah.
What do they need? What do they need to do there that improves it?
I would like to say it's a software, right?
Yeah.
Like
Google
I/O. Daydream, the hardware's pretty good. You got a decent quality phone in there. I mean, what I do love about Oculus Go, which Daydream in its current form in terms of using a handset can't match up with, is the fact that Oculus Go is a one standardized device. If you're a developer building an app or a game for Oculus Go, you know exactly what's going in to what's in that hardware. Whereas with Daydream, there's a bit of flexibility in terms of the handsets you can use with it.
Well, you're developing for Daydream as a platform as well, not even just the Daydream View headset.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of Daydream when it launched anyway was that any company can make their own headset, and like Huawei and LG both said they were going to make headsets. We've not heard anything from them yet. But I guess as a developer, you still have to try and think about that coming. You don't know if the new Oculus Go's coming.
Yeah, and even if you have like a standardized kind of framework for design principles, you know, like a reference model, like the Google model is, as an app developer, and as a third-party headset developer, you're probably going to want to have your own little tweaks in there to make your headset more attractive.
Totally.
And then as an app developer, you've then got to try to play to a million different kind of SKUs, as we call them.
So basically, we're summing up that we don't know exactly what's coming from the VR side, but there's got to be something basically.
After how much effort they've put in the last few years, it would be unusual for them to be quiet.
Yeah.
But also, if they are quiet, that can be quite telling in terms of how Google view the future of VR. Maybe
VR as an industry.
So yeah, that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Google Assistant. If he doesn't live, or she doesn't live in the notch, what's going to happen?
I think that they already do live in the notch, so that's the thing.
Right.
This upgrade is for them to come out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Come out of the notch.
Yeah, Google Assistant. Kind of the number one voice assistant right now. Is that too far?
Oh, well, I suppose it's the most readily available, right?
Yeah, it's the most readily available. It's on a lot of devices.
However many people actually use it,
Yeah.
and maybe even know about it,
Yeah, exactly.
is a different question. But
I'm not actually sure on much of the rumoured new features for Assistant. I'm hoping you know a little bit more about that.
well,
But,
what I would say about Assistant right now is that whole area is getting so competitive, right? So you've got Alexa doing great guns in devices. Also today, we've heard that you'll soon be able to set Alexa as your default voice assistant on Android phones, which is going to be kind of, I'd imagine, a little bit worrying for Google.
so that's if your phone has Alexa in it.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. So some certain devices do, like the Huawei Mate 9, I want to say, in the US had Alexa built into it, but it wasn't the default one. You had to go and actively go and use that. So if you had headphones that worked with the voice assistant, it would go to Google Assistant still. Yeah. So that's what this new feature is. It's basically the default assistant doesn't always have to be Google Assistant.
Yeah, but either way, that is making good ground, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I think Alexa is increasingly becoming like a household name. Like, you know, my mum has an Echo, and my mum is not a very gadgety person, and she's totally comfortable with that. Would you know what Google Assistant is? No.
Yeah.
And they've got the HomePod as well. So Siri is, making moves into new devices. So while Google Assistant's very good, it doesn't feel like it's had really like a headline push, has it? Right? Hasn't been this big like, hey, Google Assistant is here and you can do this, this, and this. Maybe Google Home, you could say that was, but I always felt that Google Home kind of launched with a whimper, really. So, which leads us onto Google Home.
Look at that segue.
Look at that segue.
Google segue confirmed.
Now, could we see some new Google Home hardware?
I don't see it coming just yet.
I don't see it coming either.
Because we haven't seen any rumours of it yet, and we've had the Google Home, we've had the Google Home Mini,
And
it
the
feels
Max.
like, and the Max. I completely forgot even the Max.
So they've got
existed.
really the whole
Yeah.
range is basically there.
Yeah.
What we haven't had though is a Google Home device with a display,
Yep.
which we know there was a few knocking around at CES this year. So perhaps we could get another sighting of one of those, perhaps one that's ready to come out. Someone else new, perhaps having a look at them.
Yeah, there was the Lenovo one, wasn't there? I
Yeah.
can't remember what, they had a very complicated name that I can't remember.
But it was
exactly
kind
what I
of
know,
they didn't really show much off of it.
yeah,
did they?
smart home display. I think it was just called, and it was quite a strange name. So yeah, maybe more of that kind of thing. Yeah, if there was to be a Google product, that's probably what they're going to add to their line,
Yeah.
rather than. I don't think the Google Home is ready for an upgrade yet. I think that will take a little bit longer. But yeah, and they've got the Google Maps to compete with the HomePod.
Improvements to Assistant could, if they're very strong and bold improvements, could make even an old Max or an old Mini or just your regular Home feel vastly different. Though.
Yeah, totally.
So if they've made big bounds in that sense, that in itself could be like an update for the Google Home range.
Yeah, and Google's not the kind of company that holds those updates back from the older products. It's not like you get those updates when you upgrade. It's the kind of company that does just push them out.
And it's worth remembering why the purpose of Assistant in the first place, right?
Yeah.
You get this stuff for free because Google wants your data, and it sets out new features because it wants new ways of finding new things out about you.
Exactly.
So it's not going to hold that back from an old product if it means that you can't ask a question that it can learn something more about you to sell to advertisers.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's always reason to come back there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there'll be a little bit about Google Home, but I'm not expecting a brand new product. Could we see a brand new Chromecast?
It's an interesting one. Now, lots of people seem to think we will.
There's no outright rumours in terms of there's not been a leak or there's not been or a patent filing or anything like that. That explicitly suggests there will be a Chromecast 3 tonight. But
the Chromecast is
what
great.
would it be if there was one?
What would it be? I'm really not sure. Because right now you've got your regular Chromecast, which is your cheap and cheerful, throw whatever you want onto your TV from your apps. And then you've got the Chromecast Ultra, which is the same but has support for 4K apps. And then you've got your audio Chromecast as well.
It feels like a full range there. And
it's already there, right? So all that I can perhaps envision, and this is again as much based on leaks we've seen about Alexa and Amazon Echo as much as it is about Google, is one that perhaps integrates Home with a Chromecast device.
Okay.
So maybe so you've got what is it called? Is it the JBL Link Bar, which has Google Assistant built into it. So that's like a sound bar which has Google Assistant in it. So could you maybe get some sort of home theater soundbar Chromecast all in one device? Maybe something like that. Yeah. But beyond that, I don't really know what more you can do with Chromecast as a concept, right?
Totally. And in my head, that would be a Google Home product rather than a Chromecast product. Because Chromecast is that cheaper alternative that's just bam, stick it in your TV. The Home is invest some money in this, and this will be good.
Yeah. So you might find something that kind of straddles the line between two. Unless maybe it's just a cheaper, smaller Chromecast. Yeah. You know, everything getting smaller.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not going to say there won't be, because I think it's probably it's a good shout. I mean, let's talk about one with Bluetooth support, but then why?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you need that?
Why would you need that? I mean, tick another box in the spec sheet, but that's about it, really.
I've seen a couple of people in the comments talking about Pixels. We said it really briefly earlier. There won't be new Pixels tonight. Basically, I'm 99% certain. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna eat a hat, but I'm pretty certain there won't be new Google Pixel devices today. I don't think we'll hear that name, Pixel 3, on stage. We will have to wait until September for that, because they will wait a full year.
Why am I thinking that I read somewhere that the Pixel line could die? Or am I just
I'm not
making
sure.
it up?
I'm genuinely not sure.
Is that just what I'm trying to want to happen? No, I don't want it to happen.
No. The Pixels I don't think are all that much of a success. I think they're still pretty good for Google. They're not an outstanding success that they need to keep them, but they do need to keep them in terms of having that device which shows
another reference model.
That reference model, and having that device that shows purely what Google wants us to be able to do.
Yeah.
It's the first one to always get the updates, that kind of thing. It makes sense to have that device. Also, why they need the LG Watch timepiece, in my opinion, as having that device that goes, look, this is Wear OS at its peak, and then all the other companies go off and do whatever they want with the little tweaks.
Yeah.
Cool.
How are we doing for time?
Yeah, I think that's about everything. Is there
That's about everything.
anyone?
Yeah. So there's a couple of questions.
Comments?
So Ryan Barkley is asking about any Android TV news. Now, I always get the impression that Google now just kind of put out to pasture Android TV. It was a mixed bag. It works really well on some devices. So like I've got an NVIDIA Shield. I love it. It's really great. But you know,
It's been
built
years since we
into
heard
a few
about that,
TVs.
really, isn't it?
But I kind of feel like they don't really care that much
Yeah.
anymore. What's interesting about it is over time they've built things like Assistant into it. So again, it's more about bringing all of the elements of the Google ecosystem together in that platform, as opposed to having a real revamp of it, as far as I can imagine anyway. You may see something about it. I mean, you've got to remember, Google I/O, the keynote is a pretty long keynote, right?
It is, yeah.
It lasts
It's a big
for a few hours, so there's plenty of time to find new stuff. But there's always like the crazy stuff on the fringes as well, right? The stuff that you don't expect at I/O. So like, I remember one year, like the great stuff about AI and robots, the one that could like pick up like. It could pick up a green M&M out of a packet of all different coloured ones, right? So it's a tough one to gauge sometimes.
Yeah,
but
hopefully we get some surprises tonight. Basically, is what we really want.
That's what we'd like to see.
Whether Android TV is going to be one of them, probably not.
Yeah.
Sorry about all the noise there. We've got people running through.
Everyone's going Google I/O crazy. They're running around. They're dropping their Pixel phones. They're
not even in California.
They're shouting at Assistant. They're saying, "Why are you still hiding in the notch? Get out of the notch." So we're not even in California. Exactly.
Any more?
Sean Burns. There's not much. There's not much we can do about it. Oh, nice one, Sean. So I guess that's about it then, really, for today. So we'll be doing, we'll be covering everything tonight live.
Yeah.
Our US colleagues will be there on
they're
the
live
ground,
at the event.
on the ground, in the trenches.
The way that amphitheatre is kind of like situated, it does look a little bit like that,
like a Roman Colosseum.
Yeah.
Where you have to fight
less fruit flying,
less fruit flying.
Throwing, I meant,
more
not
flying. Less lions.
Yeah, less lions
and gladiators. More Russell Crowe. More Russell Chromecast. No, it doesn't even.
Wow.
That was. I went there. Sorry.
Yeah. Imagine what we're going to be like in a few hours when we're reporting on this event, and
it's already been a really long day, and it's about to get a lot longer. So keep an eye out for typos as we go live.
You'll find that on the Tech Radar homepage. Boom.
Cool. Okay. So keep it locked on Tech Radar, and we'll soon know the reality of everything we've talked about.
Yeah. Cool. Right. See you guys later.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.